First and foremost, as always, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Double honor to the elders and apostles and bishops at Great Millstone who do labor well, who labor night and day, making sure that the sheep are well fed, who rule well. Peace and salutations to the remnant that might look like these other nations, but are in fact of the 144,000 hopeful elect, 1/3. Peace and salutations to all the men that's in GMS, that's out there on the highways and hedges, making videos, getting this word out by any means necessary. Peace and salutations to all those that support this truth and all those that believe. This message is for whether you hear or you forbear. Hope that this lesson is edifying to all the Akim. Shalom. Alright, so I heard a brother, well, actually an elder. He was bringing this up, but he didn't really go too much into it. So I'm gonna go into it. He was mentioning, I think it's the brother from North Carolina camp. You know, a lot of people know him. He has very good videos, very, very good videos. And so he was talking about the women being raped in Delta State. So it's crazy out there. But this is basically, I'm not going to make this video be too long, but it's going to be short and straight to the point and bring out a few scriptures to go along with it. Just to let y'all women know, man, you know, we're in these last days, man, these last few hours. And a lot of women think they don't need a man. Listen, when this stuff gets hard, if you don't have someone that's going to have your back, you're going to be ravaged. I mean, straight up, you're going to be ravaged. You know, well, and I've done tons of videos talking about this, you know, for y'all women out here. And because a man's going to protect those that is his. And, you know, even with the hopeful elect, man, they're only really worried about themselves, which they should be, you know. Now, if they got family or children, yes, they'll be worried about them. But the thing is that some of these men out here are single, you know, so they're not going to have time to be worrying about y'all women, especially if y'all ain't trying to listen to this word, you know. Either you're going to hear or forbear, you know. This decision is totally up to you. All right, so I'm going to try to play this video.
Today we're talking about something that has deeply unsettled many of us. You see, in recent days, videos from Delta State have circulated widely.
This is in Nigeria.
Women screaming, women being chased and assaulted during a festival. Social media, of course, gave that festival a name very quickly, the Rape Festival. But let's be clear before we continue that there is no verified culture or tradition in Delta State or anywhere else in Nigeria that supports sexual violence as part of any practice. Even those from the community have spoken out, saying that it is not who they are. And yet, something happened. It did happen. Women were harassed. Women were violated. Women were chased down the street in an open area, in a crowd, and in broad daylight. And that alone should concern all of us, because this is not just about one incident. It's about the environment that allows such behavior to take place. Everybody keeps on saying it's part of culture, but we understand by now that culture is not just what we inherit, it is also what we tolerate. And so we must ask ourselves questions, as we're always asking ourselves questions. What do we as Nigerians and Nigeria tolerate? This conversation comes at a time when the world is reflecting on women during a month that includes International Women's Day. Globally, there is a clear message. Women deserve safety. Women deserve dignity. And women deserve protection. Not sometimes, but all the time. Not just under certain circumstances, but always. So what does this say about us? When a woman is stepping outside, it becomes unsafe. What does it say about us? When the conversation shifts from what happened to her to what she should have done differently. She wasn't dressed all right. What was she doing there? A society that cannot guarantee the safety of its women in public spaces is a society that must pause and reflect. And while we reflect on that, we cannot ignore the broader reality that is around us. There are ongoing security concerns in parts of the country. Yeah, there are communities living in uncertainty. There are students afraid to go back to school. NYSC, universities, whatever broad, the spectrum is vast. There are lives affected by instability. And in moments like this, people look to leadership, they look to systems, and they look.
Now, I'm not going to get into all of it, but just know there's tons of videos on this topic. More than 40 men against one lady. Now, you heard what that lady was saying. The lady, going outside and stuff like that. But the thing is this. If you know this type of stuff is going on, why are you even going to be around that type of environment? Now, one time you heard that these dudes were breaking in these people's houses. But this stuff was happening in broad daylight. See, when this stuff goes down, it's going down globally. All right? But I'm talking more so for Babylon the Great. Now, Babylon has a lot of jails and a lot of prisons. And imagine when those men get out. Man, it's not going to be nice, man. It's not going to be nice. I said this so many times. It's not going to be nice. It's going to be very bad. And if some of y'all women think that, hey, this is a good time to get some good D, you might think that. But a lot of these dudes are upset because a lot of them are in there because of women. So they might do what they're going to do to you. But they're going to be whooping your butt too. That's what's going to happen. I seen one movie that the guy raped the girl, and then at the end of it, she ran off, and he caught up to her, and he just kept stabbing her in the stomach. It was a movie, though, but stuff like that can happen in real life. And the thing is, if y'all women don't have protection from a man of the Lord, that is of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, it's not going to be good for you. It's going to be very bad. So you got to make sure that you have that protection from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Okay? You be quiet, you little one. I'm going to go into some scriptures. Now, I wanted to bring this verse out because I was talking about this with a friend of mine. But this has great weight. All right, this is Job chapter 1, verse 10. And if you know the story, the temptations came and all this stuff, and then, his wife, but anyway, let me just read it. Not trying to go off track. But this is in the book of Job, all right? Has not thou made an hedge about him and about his house and about all that he have ever, Salakia, about all that he hath on every side thou hast blessed the work of his hands and his substance and increased in the land. All right, so basically Satan was talking about how, Job had a hedge on him. That means basically protection. He had everything good. And the thing what I'm trying to say is that y'all women are going to want to have a hedge of protection. And the elect men are going to have a hedge of protection on them. Because they've been preserved since the beginning of time. And they will be known because they will survive all these things, the atrocities and tribulations and Jacob trouble, all these things that's going to come before them. But if you women are not going to have a elect man, that's it for you, man. that's going to be it for you. Or if you're not an elect lady, man, that is it for you. All the destruction is going to come upon you. You better hope that you have a hedge of protection. And that goes out there for you men too. That's why you have to try to do your very best so that the Heavenly Father sees that you've been putting in this work. So you can have that protection. And even if you are putting in work, that doesn't mean that you are guaranteed to be one of the elect. No one knows. You know, all vessels are used for what Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai wants, not for what you want to be. Everybody, of course, everybody's going to want to be of the elect. I do too. We all want salvation. And the elect lady wants salvation. And the children want salvation. But we must pray that we're going to have a hedge about us. Because when this stuff gets crazy, it's going to get crazy. Now, saying that we're in the last days, you can clearly see how things are going. This 1 Thessalonians 5:3. For when they shall say, peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as a travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. So imagine you're a woman. All these women, like say, I don't need a man and stuff like that. It's going to be women with children. And imagine if they don't have the protection from Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. Man, it's not going to look good for you. That destruction is going to come upon you. That's why anyone that listening to this word, if you listening to it for entertainment, man, it's not going to get you salvation. It's not going to get you salvation. But if you are listening to it so you can better yourself and have a better relationship with Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, then this video is for you. And if you some damn FBI agent or government informant or whatever you are listening so you can go report back, well, you're going to get your portion too. Because all those that try to stop this word have been getting punished. Polite tried to do that. He got punished. Other men have tried that. Even out there in the camps, when people out there try to preach this word, people have tried to come upon this word, and they got put down. You're not stopping this word or slowing it down. This word about Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai is coming like 10,000 freight trains, and you ain't stopping it. So you can kick rocks on that. I wanted to bring this verse out too. This is Proverbs 29:25. The fear of man bringeth a snare. I'm going to pause it right there. A lot of people don't want to do this work because they have fear. And that can hold you back. You have to be bold when you come into this. You also have to prepare yourself, because a lot of stuff is going to happen when you come into this. Trust me. The hopeful elect men are being stalked and watched and monitored all the time. They're coming up to your camps. Sometimes they might want to sound like and act like they genuine, but in all reality, they raging in wolves. Like how you seen Vocab Malone and many others like them. They try to stop this ministry, but they're not going to be able to stop it. Because we're not going to stop. We're going to keep going out here spreading this word. But we can't have fear of men. Only person we're supposed to have fear of is of Yahweh, the Heavenly Father. And we must have fear of Yahweh Shai as well. because you cannot get through the Father without Yahweh Shai. Let me continue. But whoso putteth his trust in the Lord. You done? Shall be saved. Shall be safe. Because if we put all of our love into Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, we won't have to worry about having fear. He's going to make sure that we are well protected, well taken care of. And that is the ultimate goal to have of us. So, bringing out that video with the women being ravaged, y'all women need to take this very seriously. And the words that come out of Great Millstone. Because this is words for protection. A lot of people want to throw shade and try to say we bad. We're not bad. If we were truly bad, we would just keep this message just for us. And not even put it out there on YouTube or Rumble or go out there on the highways and hedges. We just keep it tight-knit. But we are commanded to search out for the hope for elect. So I'm going to keep this brief. I hope that this lesson was edifying to all the Akim, to all the Aqua, to all the men that's in GMS. If you want to leave a nice comment, do so. That being said, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Shalom.